Hi, everybody. Ben here, Warden there, and we're here to commentate, as always. What do we have on the camera today?
Looks like we have Burn versus Esper Spirits.
I don't see any of that. I just see red versus blue.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing, right?
Is it?
Yes. Go Caboose. Caboose is the best.
You said it was red versus spirits?
Burn.
Red burn? Red versus blue burn?
Yeah, pretty much.
And the burn deck's in the blue sleeves.
Atrocious. Absolutely atrocious. I want this red player fired.
Oh, well, he will put something on fire. That is his hope and dream.
Who do you think has the advantage?
I personally like the burn deck. Just being able to get that damage in quick and then being able to go over the top with just going to the dome. The creatures aren't massively important.
Yeah. Wow. That's the so turn 1 active off from the Spirits player, but it's the Shadow over Innistrad lands that you have to reveal one of the types. I have not seen one of those in Modern.
Well, he's probably just using what he's got. That's totally fine. It's completely serviceable as a dually, which he revealed a Plains.
Gobbo Guide.
Gobbo revealing another Aether Vial.
I think it's definitely fine with the Spirits player.
Oh, I forgot his trigger. Oh, no.
Oh, no. It's kind of an important one.
Okay.
All right.
It's F&M. It's fine.
Yep.
Yep. Just casual here. All right, so we got Swamp on turn 2, and second Aether Vial. Seems good, posting up for Path to Exile. Is that a Harsh Scrutiny in his hand? There was a black card in his hand that I couldn't quite identify.
I couldn't quite either.
All right, so looks like we're not seeing a second land from our burn player as of right now, but Double Goblin Guide is a good way to go.
It's a pretty good start. So I'm trigger.
Yep.
You might as well draw some free cards before you path it. Hey!
Get one land. And let's see, second land.
Yeah, draw 2 cards.
Exactly what you want if you're being attacked by Goblin Guide.
And I think you just path on one of them here. Ooh.
He is okay with taking this damage. Alright, so the burn player has some damage coming to the face here in the near future.
Yeah, I see
we got our Aether Vial triggers up. We got 1 on 2 and 1 on 1.
I think it's an Inquisition, the black card that we were missing.
Oh yeah?
Maybe.
Alright. Okay, so
revealing the Swamp doesn't work. There we go. Okay.
Okay. So we revealed the Plains to meet the condition of the Shadows over Innistrad blue-white dually that we can't remember the name of. And I got another glance at that card, and it looks like a Harsh Scrutiny.
It is Harsh Scrutiny. Oh, wow.
So that one is a discard spell for creatures?
Yes.
And scry 1.
And scry 1.
All right, he found a second land, so we played that for turn, untapped, taking 2 damage. Going to combat, we got 2 Gobbos coming in. He's deciding to take the damage and showing us the triggers.
Yep.
Leaving the 1/1 curse-catching spirit.
Yep. Same thing.
Followed up with Eidolon.
And we know a Spell Queller in hand. That's definitely something you want to Spell Queller if you're a Spirits player.
Absolutely. Because that was a really good play by the burn player. When you're ahead on damage and on board, playing an Eidolon just puts you that much farther ahead against almost every deck.
Yeah, because at that point, you don't have to invest any more into the board. You're just like, all right, take care of these, and if you can't, I'll just kill you.
And since you're so far ahead, you're okay taking 2 from your own Eidolons to just end the game.
Yep.
All right, so throwing down Curse Catcher off of not Curse Catcher, Mausoleum Wanderer. That's the name of the card. I was just using Curse Catcher because I couldn't remember Mausoleum Wanderer. Vialing it in main phase? Is that what we saw?
Yes.
Okay.
So he didn't let either Aether Vials tick up, which was a little surprising. You could have done it with trigger on the stack, flashed it in, and then uptick it. Mm-hmm. Which I think might have been better. Unfortunately,
even though he's got a pretty good setup, the Spirit player, he doesn't have a lot to abuse those Aether Vials with at the moment.
Correct.
He's got a lot of lands going on. Not really where we want to be. All right, so we got those Gobbos turned sideways again.
Yeah, so we got some triggers.
Land?
Wow.
He's definitely hitting the land.
Yeah, it's land pockets. Oh my goodness.
Okay.
I think you definitely need to path something, and
You're still, if you path here, you're still taking 4 damage.
that's true.
But now he took the 6, so that means that if he paths, he's going to take an additional 2.
Yeah. So lava spike, so he'll take 3, except he'll counter it because he can't pay additional 1.
Which is perfectly reasonable.
Yep.
Alright, so now he ups him and finds another Mausoleum Wanderer. So this is a classic scenario of lands are good, but they're not that good.
At least not in Modern.
Alright, so he goes ahead and casts what he can.
And he's going to take 2 for it.
Yep.
Because it doesn't say non-creature spells, it just says spells.
Okay.
Harsh scrutiny to kill himself. Let's go.
Okay. Untapping the gobos and lands, drawing his card, and we know that he's got... Oh, he drew another land. That's pretty good. So not showing his hand, he just decides to attack with his dudes because that's sufficient.
Yep. I think as a Spears player, waiting to see if he plays anything else just to get more information was a perfectly fine play. Because if he does something like Syrian Blaze or like Burrow's Charm, it just gives you more information of what cards he's actually playing in the deck.
All right. So we've got some utility cards here in the Spirit sideboard. Looks like Mana Leaks and Doom Blades and
Supreme Verdict.
Yeah, Supreme Verdict. Yep. Duresses I saw.
Duress seems like a great one.
Yeah. So just a bunch of utility spells.
Yep. Looks like Exquisite Firecrafts, Destructive Revelry. I'm not sure what the middle card is from the burn player. But, I mean, I think Destructive Revelry is fine. I mean, Aether Vial is a very powerful card against you. Taking out Rift Bolts. Alright.
Okay. So, Harsh Scrutiny, I know that he had it in his opening hand, and he decided not to play it. He held on to it for quite a while. Do you think that's something that you want in even games 2 or 3?
So, knowing a typical burn list, they play 12 creatures, which is 4 Goblin Guide, 4 Mosshair Swift Spear, 4 Eidolons. I don't think the Harsh Scrutiny is worth it to try and hit those, because by the time you can, like, if you're on the play, you can play it, you can maybe hit one of them. I think I prefer the Duress, because typically the burn spells will either take out your creatures or deal more damage to you. Because, like, he got real unfortunate with the land pockets, but usually spirits are just bigger than his creatures, and so he can just block and force him to, have to use a burn spell on the creature to trade or just lose the creature, which I think is fine. I think the only argument going Esper Spirits over Bant or just the blue-white one is obviously Lingering Souls. It's a very powerful card, especially when you get multiple Lord effects with them. It's like, hey, I pay 3 mana for 2 3/3 flyers.
That seems pretty great.
Yeah.
Not gonna lie.
The downside is that, I mean, if you're not playing the Bant version, you lose your acceleration from Noble Hierarchs and Kokos. And then the straight blue-white version, I think, is just a little more streamlined.
I guess another downside to playing the Esper version is that you want to be playing Lingering Souls, so your deck is, and he's playing a lot more cards that just aren't creatures inherently, so you have a lot less to do with your Aether Vials in the Esper version versus either, I guess, the blue-white or the Bant version.
Yes. They're very threat dense. Looks like he took out some Phantasm Images, which I definitely agree with against Burn. Because unless you're copying Drogskull Captain, it's just like target it with this and it dies.
Right.
So Is that a... Okay, I thought that was a Spray and Seize, but it's the 2-drop 1/3 Lord from M19.
Well, they both seem to have perfectly serviceable hands.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. All right, starting off with our... what was the name? Did these have a name? I don't remember. Most of these cycles of lands have their own nickname.
Yeah.
Shadowlands.
Right.
All right, Gabo turn 1.
Yeah.
Turn sideways. Reveal a Mausoleum Wanderer. Untap, upkeep, draw. Draw, said Mausoleum Wanderer. We got Prairie Stream in hand as a land. I know he's got a Watery Grave and a Plains, so definitely having a land.
I think you play the untapped land. I think you just play the Lord and crack back for 2, because the 1/3 Lord can block the Goblin Guide. Sprint, you would have to play something else. Looks like he's going to keep
up Rattle Chains.
Keep up Rattle Chains.
And that seems like that's also a fine play.
It is.
Because it can make a surprise counterspell.
Well, I think the big one is that. So you flash him, you can give your Mausoleum Wanderer or your Mausoleum Wanderer hexproof, block the Goblin Guide. If he chooses to try and burn your creature, you can sack the Mausoleum Wanderer, especially if it's like a Syrian Blaze.
And counter that spell.
And counter the spell, and then still get a trade. So you 2 for 2'd, but that's still pretty good against a burn deck where you're not taking any damage.
All right, so Sacred Foundry, second Goblin Guide, coming in for 4. We got some triggers on the stack here. Let's see what we reveal. Harsh Scrutiny.
All right.
And got a reader.
I do appreciate his hat, though.
You're allowed. Second trigger, Harsh Scrutiny.
Alright, so he's going to take it. I think end of turn he's just going to flash in a Rattle Chains. Rattle Chains just says a creature, right? So you can give it itself hexproof if you want. Ooh. What do we... And Lava Spike.
All right. So now he's got a decision to make. Does he want to counter the spell or just take it?
I think if you're about to play a Rattle Chains and then a Lord, and then an addition like Mausoleum Wanderer, I think taking the damage right there is fine.
All right, looks like he's taking the damage for that. That's a pretty ballsy play in my opinion.
You're not wrong. I definitely think you just drop down the Lord. All right. So he's going to pump that one. I think you still drop the Lord. Or you can flash him with Rattle Chain. So that's a good plan. So you can keep it up and then make your Mausoleum Wanderer a 3/3. Because we'll get the pump from Spirit coming in and then the pump from the Lord.
There you go. All right. So 1 attack from the Mausoleum Wanderer. That was 3, right?
2. Because he's had the other Wanderer come into play.
All right. Now the burn deck's coming in with those Gobos again.
Yep.
We got some triggers on the stack. And we got a Phantasmal something.
Yeah.
I don't remember that card's name.
They'll be in the comments like, it's this card. How do you not know that? It's like, look.
Because I'm a scrub. I don't know M19 cards.
All right. So it looks like the 3/3 and the 1/3 are going to block. Which I think those are both very serviceable blocks. It's like, all right, show me a burn spell or a pump spell. And Bolting the Lord seems good. You can sack and make him pay 2 more for it.
Which he's not. So right here, you think at that point you just let the Lord die. That way you can at least get rid of a Goblin Guide. Right?
Yes, that's what I was thinking as well. Drog School Captain, oh man, right? If you just let him die. I mean, he knows you have a Drog School, so I think you just leave your 2. Actually, he's tapped out. I think you just play the Drog School Captain now. Mm-hmm. Just give him the hexproof off the bat.
You're not going to win if you don't start turning sideways.
I think he's at 9. That's such like a bad place to be. Because it's just like, alright, like Lava Spike, Rift Bolt, Lava Spike kind of thing. Just like 3 burn spells kill you.
Which is why I think you need to start playing, at this point, more aggressively.
I think I would have kept the Lord back. I think I definitely would have swung with Rattle Chains. I think I would have kept the Lord back, though. Because then both Lords traded the Goblin Guides.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so Rattle Chains and...
So it should be 5 total. 6 total. Oh, because Rattle Chains gets double pump. Yes, they are correct. So it's 4 and then 2. So 4 from Rattle Chains, 2 from the 2-drop Lord. Alright.
I need to learn that card's name. Alright, untap, upkeep, draw, play a 3rd land. And we got Eidolon, Boros Charm, and Skullcrack. So that is 1 spell this turn that he can cast. That Draw Skull Captain's a 3/3.
Yes.
If you attack with both, you're guaranteeing 2 damage, putting your opponent to 7, and at that point you can hopefully not die on the crack back.
Supreme Phantom.
Supreme Phantom. Okay.
Thank you, Internet.
Alright, Mausoleum Wanderer again.
Yep.
Alright, so we got
1 Goblin Guide taken out, which is good. Looks like he has a Boros Charm and an Eidolon in hand.
Yep. So you have lethal, but the problem is your opponent also have lethal. And he's got...
Currently,
9...
his opponent does.
Yes.
So
whether or not he just goes in for the kill is going to determine whether or not he wins this game.
Yes.
And in most cases like this, you want to ask the question. There's not much you can do about just dying from the hand.
No, and the Mausoleum Wanderer coming down is also really helpful. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, game 3. Good job, Esper Spirits. The Mausoleum Wanderer coming down as well is also helpful because it's like, all right, like it's a 3/3. Whatever spell you cast, I will counter unless you pay 3.
Right.
I think that was just the nail in the coffin.
Yeah. Yep.
Unfortunately, Burn gets to go first now, so we'll see how Spirits handles that.
I think in response to that last Mausoleum Wanderer, just going ahead and firing off one of your 2-cost cards, like Boros Charm or Skullcrack, would have been perfectly fine because you had 1 mana to post up for Bolt. It would have at least guaranteed...
If he didn't swing back for lethal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha. At the same point, like, because you haven't played a Boros Charm before, your opponent doesn't know that you're playing Boros Charms. So that's also valuable hidden information. He didn't play Boros Charm game 1 or 2.
I understand that, but if you're playing to try to win that game, I guess the only way you win that game as the burn deck in that position is if your opponent makes a mistake.
Yeah.
And so I guess either you determine playing your outs, or which is your opponent making a mistake, or just conceding and hiding Boros Charm's information.
Yeah. Looks like 2 or 3 land for the burn player. Looks like a Grim Lavamancer. Maybe a Swift Spear?
No black mana this time so far for the Spirits deck. We got 2 blue-white lands and an Aether Vial. Still a good start.
I would say it's still a very serviceable start. I mean, if he finds a 3rd land, he has 1 Lord and Lingering Soul, so I mean that's going to be vital against the burn player.
What was the name of that spirit again? Supreme something?
Supreme Phantasm.
Supreme Phantasm. He's got a Supreme Phantasm in his hand.
Ooh, and a top draw in the swamp.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good because you just turn 1. Something Port, I think, is the blue-white one.
Townsend
Port, something like that, yeah.
All right, turn 1 Aether Vial.
Yep.
I got Grimmy Boy.
Grimmy Boy,
and
Skullcrack.
And a fetch to turn on Grimmy Boy.
Yep. And a Boros Charm. I think you just attack the Grim Lavamancer. Oh, are you going to keep 2 up in case he tries to play something? I mean, that seems fair. Hey, look at that. Remembering triggers and big dice.
Alright, so remembers the trigger on Aether Vial.
And a spell queller, man. I still think we just play the swamp to keep a Doomblade up. I think firing off the Doomblade isn't a terrible idea right now either.
It makes him want to use it.
Yeah. It's like you can get one activation from your Grim Lavamancer if you want. And it looks like he's going to take that option. Oh, looks like he brought in Molten Rains. Interesting.
Spicy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if you're, I would say, afraid of Cavernous Souls, but Red Deck shouldn't be afraid of Cavernous Souls, so. I mean, I guess affecting their mana base, especially in 3 colors, I guess, is a fair play as well. So it looks like Bolt to the Dome, 15.
Draw, gets another land. And it's the Clifftop Retreat.
Yep. It's getting tougher to remember like all the arts now since these things have been reprinted enough times.
Right. Alright, putting the second counter on Aether Vial, untap lands, drawing his magic card. We got a Polluted Delta, also very decent, because it allows a third land to come and play untapped.
Yes.
So we can post up Spellcaller.
Yeah.
That was pretty good. Not gonna lie, it was pretty good.
I mean, he also might just cast Lingering Souls here. That would also be a... You're at 14, you're not... within range of your opponent just saying you lose.
Well, you could play it and then also, like, I guess, flash in your Lord.
That's also true.
Supreme Phantasm.
I think that's actually probably the best option because then you have 5 power on the board on your next turn to attack with, which puts your opponent roughly on a 3-turn clock.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a fun way to go. And it's hard to believe that like a 2-drop lore is the only thing spirits need to just kind of go over the top.
Lingering Souls cast from hand, getting 2 magical spirits.
How do they magical?
Because they were made by magic cards.
Okay.
Doming opponent for 4.
Sounds like I should have kept up Spell Queller.
Nah, I like your line.
I think yeah, just trying to be aggressive off first because your life total isn't like your life total isn't in a dangerous spot. Although Boros Charm, Skullcrack, Lightning Bolt, I think is what this is. Ooh.
Yeah, so that's
Wow.
lethal damage.
Wow. Skullcrack does deal 3. Correct?
Yep.
Okay, yeah, so that is lethal.
So now he has to play with Spell Queller in mind.
Well, the Aether Vial will go up to 3 if he remembers, and so that will be a big help as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, so opponent's thinking about bolting the Supreme Phantom.
I think if I'm the opponent, I think I would just fire off. He's gonna bolt it. All right.
It does buy him quite a few turns.
It does.
That 3 damage prevented 3 damage.
Yes. Ooh, Mausoleum Wander off the top. Oh wow! So he can play the Wanderer, flashback, Lingering Souls.
Does Prairie Stream come into play untapped?
Yes, because he has 2 basics. He has the
it doesn't count. It doesn't care about specifically islands and plains.
No.
It counts about basics.
It counts basics. So that's Spell Pierce?
Yep.
Wow! Spell Pierce and the Boros Charm. I love it. I think flashback Lingering Souls because you have the Spell Queller under your Aether Vial, so you're pretty okay there. So you can right. My Mausoleum Wanderer gets boosted. Yay! Attack for 2. So I mean. Oh, I was like 3. Oh, he's fetching. Okay. So, I mean, effectively, his opponent is on a 3-turn clock, quote unquote, pending any lords. Obviously, any lords, 2-turn clock. The Spell Queller would up the clock by 1 on the damage side because he'd have 7.
There's really no reason to no value that Spell Queller, in my opinion.
No, I would agree. Ooh, I think that's something you definitely Queller, because every time you try and activate your file, you're going to get pinged for 2.
All right.
It looks like he's going to... Yep.
All right, so he did what you were talking about.
Yep. So that, I mean, you effectively put your opponent on a 2-turn clock right now.
And I think that's, if it's a 2-turn clock, then that pretty much puts this game on lock.
Yes.
2 cards cannot deal 7 damage.
Yeah.
Or...
Right, and I think his opponent was thinking about maybe sacking that Mausoleum Wonder, but I think his opponent was like, nah. Like, is that a captain?
Perhaps. Perhaps.
I mean, if it is, I think you just...
It's a captain.
Okay.
It's a captain.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, and we're good. This game's done. There's 14 points of damage.
Whew.